Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me today. If this is your first time joining me on my channel, my name is Sonia, aka Sister Philly. Welcome to my channel, and I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. So today I'm going to be doing a recent haul product review. I'm going to be going over a bunch of products that I purchased within the past month or so. It usually takes me a minute to use a product multiple times because I'm not wearing a full face of makeup every single day. So a lot of these products I may have purchased them like during the holiday season, and I'm just getting around to being able to review them. Some of these products I did purchase kind of recently, but I've been loving them so much that I've been wearing them like every single day, even on days when I haven't been wearing a full face of makeup. So I'm just going to go through a bunch of products here. I have a bunch of products in a bunch of different categories, so let's jump right into it. Okay, so my first product is the Milani eyeshadow primer, and this is what it looks like. This product retails for $6.99. I actually used this in a recent video that I did when I did a full face of all drugstore products. And I mentioned in that video that I used to hear Emily Noel talk about this product all the time. So I've been wanting to try it for a very long time, but I just picked it up kind of recently. But this is one of those products that I've been using quite often. So a lot of times I would just put the primer on and put on a little bit of eyeshadow. I've been doing that like, I want to say every day for at least the past week. So I've gotten a good amount of use out of this in a short amount of time because I have been really liking it. I do think that it's worth the $6.99 price tag, but I will say that before I tried this product, I actually like using the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer for an eyeshadow primer. And even though I think this is good, I don't think it's as good as the Smashbox primer. I'll probably continue to use this just to use it up because I love it when I find good products at the drugstore that don't cost very much. But with the Smashbox primer, because that primer is kind of silicone-y, it allows the eyeshadow to just like really glide across your eyes and blend in very well. This one does the same thing too. I just don't think it's quite as good as the Smashbox primer. Even still, I'm going to put this in my yes pile because it is drugstore. It's only $6.99. I think you're getting a good amount of product. I feel like even if you're wearing eyeshadow every single day, it's going to take you a while to get through this entire tube. So this is going to go in my yes pile. And again, this is the Milani eyeshadow primer. Okay, so next I'm going to go over a couple of eyeshadow palettes. The first one is the L'Oreal La Palette Noir. And this is what the colors look like. And I'm going to open it up so you can see the actual shadows. I'm going to try not to blind you with the mirror. So that's what the shadows look like. Now, first of all, I really love the packaging on this because when you buy it, they give you a window so that you can see what all of the shades look like. But when you open it, I'm hoping that I can show you the mirror without blinding you. This right up here is a mirror. So you're getting a window to see the shadows along with a mirror. Now the mirror is really tiny, so it's only this wide here. It is a little challenging to use it because I'm looking in the mirror right now and I can only see like my eyes and my eyebrows. It's like a very narrow mirror, but let's just say you took this on the go and you just didn't have another mirror to use. You could get away with using that. This palette retails for $19.99. And another thing I like about it, I have a bunch of stuff on the back, bunch of powder. They number all of the shadows for you on the back. And they also give you some suggestions on how to use the different colors. So I really like the packaging and I like all of the information that they put on the back of the palette for you. Unfortunately, I'm not too crazy about the performance of the shadows. So these two colors here, this is the gray and the black. Those are the two colors that you would use a lot to create like a smoky look. So this entire color scheme is meant to give you a smoky look, but I guess like in the blue color family. And that's why I was attracted to this palette because I figured, you know, it's something different. You can still do a smoky look, but you can do something different than the typical like black or brown eyeshadows. Unfortunately, these two colors here, the gray and the black, they are very patchy. They are not very pigmented at all. and they just don't look right on your eye. So I'm gonna swatch both of them so you can see it. So this one here, that's the gray. This one here is the black. I'm gonna try to build them up a little bit so you can see. I'm gonna show you how it applies. So this one here is gray, and I feel like I picked up a good amount on my hand, on my finger. This one here is black. So I'm not a huge fan of swatching because I feel like even though it's turning out patchy on my arm, this is not how I'm going to apply the eyeshadow on my eye. I'm gonna apply it with a brush. I'm probably gonna be using a lighter hand so I can blend it out. So I don't think that this is the most perfect representation, but you'll just have to take my word for it that this is exactly how it applies on your eye. You can like barely see it. For this one to be black, like I expect it to be like super black, and to me it's pulling like, it looks just like the gray color actually. You can't get like a smooth application with those two colors, and I feel like to use this palette, if you're gonna create like a blue smoky look, you need those two colors. You do also have like this dark like bluish turquoise teal color here. This color is okay. It's not quite as patchy as the other two, but it's not very pigmented, so you can like apply it very well and get like a smooth application, but unfortunately the application is just not, it's not as potent as I was expecting it to be. The shimmery colors, they did perform pretty okay. I don't think, yeah, it looks like I never used this color here, this light blue color, but I think all of the other shimmery colors I did use. So I will swatch this color here for you. This one is this color right here. So that's the color that I have on my wrist right there. The shimmery colors are a bit more pigmented than the mattes, but unfortunately, like I said, to use this palette to create like a smoky look, you're gonna have to use those dark matte colors, and they just don't do it for me. So unfortunately, this palette is going in my no pile. However, I believe this comes in 3 other color schemes, and I keep going back and forth about whether or not I should try one of the other ones. They have one of the nude palettes that I really like. I just feel like with this one, because it didn't work, maybe the other ones won't work either, but this one, if the other ones perform just like this, I know I'm not going to be satisfied with the other ones. But in case you're thinking about picking this palette up, again, it does retail for $19.99. So this is going in my no pile. Okay, I have another eyeshadow palette to share with you, and this is one of the Wet n Wild Color Icon shadows, or palettes rather, and this is Not a Basic Peach, and this is what the palette looks like. This color scheme is something that I would never in a million years go for. This is just too warm for me. I usually gravitate toward like pinks and purples, a little blues. I like a lot of silvers, some gray shadows, and I decided to pick this up because I feel like I get the same types of colors all the time. So I got this to kind of break me out of my comfort zone. So this palette here, this color here, I have never even swatched it. That's a color that just does not appeal to me at all. And I think all of the other colors I have at least tried them once. This palette, it retails for $4.99, and I think for $4.99 it is worth it. If this is a type of color scheme that attracts you, I do think it's worth picking up to try out. These two transition colors, I do think they're really nice. They're not, this color especially is not really my cup of tea, but I did use it just to see how it would show up on my skin. And this is what it looks like here. I think that's way more pigmented than the one that I just showed you from the L'Oreal palette. It's not like super pigmented, but at least you can kind of see it. And the most important thing about this is that you get a smooth application when you apply it. They're not very patchy at all. This brown color here is actually my favorite color in the palette for like darkening up my crease or creating like a smoky look. This color here was also very appealing to me, and it's a nice color, but it's very pale. That's what that color looks like. I feel like you can barely see it. It's not really showing up on my viewfinder, but it just didn't wow me. So I am gonna put this in my yes pile though, because of the price. Really, it's $4.99, and even though it's not something that I would gravitate to, I do think for $4.99 it is a pretty good performing palette, to the point where I'll probably go and pick up another one. They do have another one. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's called Rosé in the Air, maybe. One of the palettes is a bit more cool toned, and even though it's that same like color scheme that I always go for, I would probably get more use out of that. I highly doubt that I'll be picking this up to use it. I'll actually probably give this to my sister because she's more into this color scheme. But I'm putting this in my yes pile because I do think it's worth it for the price. And again, this retails for $4.99. Okay, so my last palette is the Maybelline City Mini palette, and I actually used this in the same video that I used the Milani eyeshadow primer. This one is in the color Downtown Sunrise. Yeah, Downtown Sunrise. And this is what the colors look like. I really love these small palettes because I think they're just easier to use. This one I got because out of all of the ones that they have, I think there's like 8 of them. These are the colors that I like best using on my eyes. So I think I've used everything in this palette at least once except for this color. I mean, just looking at it, it looks like I haven't even swatched it, but all of the other colors I have used quite a few times. This color here, you can tell by looking at it that it does have a lot of gold reflex in it. So I was expecting that before I put it on my eye. I usually don't go for anything that has a lot of gold in it going on my eye, but this one actually looks really pretty. This pink color over here, I was expecting it to be a shimmery pink. When I put it on my eye, I saw pretty much nothing but gold. And then when you look at the color, it looks like it has a lot of that brown shadow in there. But when you look at it, if you kind of angle the palette a little bit, you can see the gold undertone to it. I just wasn't expecting that when I put it on. This silvery color I absolutely love because I love putting silver on my eye. This one to me looks just like the way it does in the pan. It looks the same exact way on my eye. And then I love using this dark brown color to like darken up my crease. This color I will use on the end if I feel like I need to like blend out the colors like right under my brow. And this color here, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna look very pale on me, which is why I never used it. But all in all, I'm very satisfied with this palette. I would highly recommend this. This retails for $9.99. They have another one called, I think it's called Graffiti Pops. I think I'll put a picture in the video here for you, but the Graffiti Pops one is the one that I'll probably buy next. So this one is going in my yes pile. Okay, in keeping with eye makeup, the next product that I have is the Maybelline Colossal Big Shot Volume Express Mascara. I actually bought one of these a couple months ago, and I accidentally bought the waterproof one, and I don't like using waterproof mascara. I just feel like it's too difficult to get it off my eyes. So maybe like going on 3 weeks ago now, I finally picked up the non-waterproof one. And this is what the wand looks like. Usually when I decide if I'm going to buy a mascara, I will go with what the brush looks like. So if the brushes are, or the bristles rather, if they're really like tightly packed, I feel like those are the types of, that's the design that's going to give you like a fuller effect on your lashes. This one I do really like. My favorite mascara right now is the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise, so I tend to compare all of my other mascaras to that one. I do feel like this one gives you a good amount of volume, not quite as voluminous as the L'Oreal one, but it is like a very close second. The L'Oreal one though, I feel like I I've only had that one for maybe a month or two, and I do feel like it's starting to dry out. That's the only thing about that. So if this one lasts a bit longer, I'll probably just start using this one when the L'Oreal one runs out, because I feel like even if you're wearing mascara every single day, so even though I may not be doing a full face of makeup, I usually do my eyebrows and my mascara every single day. I feel like your mascara should last you way longer than a month. So this one I am very satisfied with, and I would recommend it. And this one retails for, I have a bunch of like little price tags everywhere, so I wouldn't forget the price. This one retails for $7.99, and I would highly recommend it. So this mascara is going in my yes pile. Okay, I have a couple of complexion products to go over with you, and the first one is a foundation brush. This is the Este Lauder Sculpting Foundation Brush 2. This brush has like a very unique design to it. You can see how it's like contoured on the top. I don't have that Fenty Beauty highlighting brush, but I think it looks very similar to this. So this brush was kind of expensive. It was $47, and normally I would not spend that much on a brush because I prefer applying my foundations with a sponge, but this brush really intrigued me. It didn't have a whole lot of reviews on Ulta, but all of the reviews that it had gave it 4 or 5 stars, so I decided to splurge a little and try this brush out. This one, the reason it's designed this way, is meant to like really fit the contour of your face, especially when you're like around your nose, your cheekbones, your forehead, your chin. It's meant to like really hug those parts of your face so that you could evenly like brush the foundation on. It really does work. I mean, if you are into foundation brushes, yes, this did cost $47, but I would recommend it. However, I probably won't be using it as much because number one, I do prefer applying foundation with a sponge, and even though it's really good at like getting the contours of your face, it takes longer to apply your foundation with this brush as opposed to maybe this. So like if I were applying foundation with a brush, I would normally go for this NYX number 3 brush. I feel like this one you have to be, I don't know, like more strategic about it. I feel like it took me like twice as long to apply my foundation with it, but I feel like it does do what it's supposed to do. So for that reason, I am putting it in the yes pile. If you're one of those people who you always grab a beauty blender or you're always grabbing a sponge and you're not really into brushes, I don't think it's worth it to try this out. But if you love using brushes to apply your foundation, I would recommend this. So this is going in my yes pile. And next up, I have a concealer to talk to you about. This is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer. This one is in the color Dark Golden. I decided to try this one out because of the price. It retails for $29. Yes, it retails for $29. But Ulta had this concealer on sale for 50% off at some point during the holiday season. So I knew that I probably wasn't going to find a really good shade for me when I picked this up, because it looked like most of their undertones were either gold or neutral, and they didn't have a whole lot of cool tones. But I decided to try it out anyway because I kept hearing good things about it on YouTube, and because it was 50% off. So I got the color Dark Golden, and it is golden for me. Like it's a little too warm on me, but there are some reasons why I really do like this foundation. Number one, I love the applicator to it. So I hope you can see it. It has like a dual-sided flat applicator, and because it's dual-sided, you could do like, let's say you're using this concealer for your under eyes, you could do one side of the applicator for one eye and then just turn it over and do the other side of the applicator for the other eye instead of having to dip back down into it. Now, this concealer, I should have known before I picked it up. I mean, I can't use this to brighten my under eye concealer, but I have a dark spot like right on the corner of my mouth, and most days I don't really care about having that spotlight completely covered, but sometimes, especially on days where I may not be wearing foundation, sometimes I will take a little bit of this concealer and dab it in that spot right there. Sometimes I may go around my entire mouth area with it. And this concealer, it's called the Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer, and I feel like that's exactly what it is. It's very weightless and it really does give you full coverage. I like it so much that I did decide to go back and get another one before that 50% off sale ended. So I got the color Medium Neutral, and I was hoping that I could use this under my eye, and it's not a good color. Like, I knew that it may not work out, you know, I could tell by looking at the color that it may not have worked out for me, and it doesn't. It's just too yellow. Even though this one is supposed to have a neutral undertone, it's just too yellow on me. So unfortunately this one is too light and too yellow, and then this one is too dark and it's a little too golden for me to use under my eyes. But I do still get use out of this one from time to time. So because this concealer to me does what it claims to do, I'm putting these on my yes pile. The first blush that I have is the Milani Baked Blush, and this is what the packaging looks like. This is what the actual blush looks like, and this one is in the color Luminoso. This was a Jackie Aina Made Me Buy It product. She talks about these blushes all the time. This blush, I've worn this blush every single day since I got it. Even if I'm not wearing foundation and concealer and all of that, I might just do my eyebrows, some mascara, and then throw on this blush. This blush is like really, really hard for me to put down. I can see why she loves it so much. I like the color of it. I love the pigmentation of it. I feel like it lasts all day. It doesn't fade until like hours after you wear it. In this little package on the back of it, they do have a mirror here, and they do have a little brush. This brush I haven't even taken out of the plastic. I don't see how you could apply blush with a brush like this. I haven't even touched this, but if you happen to need a little mirror, there is one on the back of the blush. These blushes retail for I'm gonna say anywhere from like $7 to $8. I got this one from Target, and I'm pretty sure it was like $6.99, but I think it costs like an extra $1 or so more if you get it from Ulta. So if you're looking for a new blush, apparently these blushes are really hard to find. When I went to Ulta, I got the last one in Luminoso, and I picked up another color called Coralina, and I feel like there were quite a few of those colors, but this one, it was the last one, and then there were some others that were sold out. So apparently these are kind of hard to find, but if you can find them, I would highly recommend them. And this blush is definitely going in my yes pile. The next blush I have is the Makeup Revolution, the matte blush. Makeup Revolution is like growing on me day by day. I'm just falling in love with Makeup Revolution. Unfortunately, I do not love this blush. This is the color Fusion. This is what the color looks like. This blush right here is kind of like, it's like overly pigmented. Just a little tiny bit of it goes so far. Like the first time I applied it, I just put on way too much. I had to wipe it off and try again. But even with picking up just a little tiny bit on the brush, I just felt like no matter what I did, I was picking up too much product. This product has a lot of fallout to it, which I would expect it to have more fallout than a baked blush, because this product is not baked. But I felt like the blush was getting all over the place. I felt like it was really hard to apply. It was really hard to blend and make it like blend into the rest of my makeup. It was just kind of messy, and the color of it, I can't even really speak on the color. I just feel like it was just way too pigmented. Like this ends up looking kind of like really red on my face, because no matter what I do, I just felt like I was putting on too much. If you are interested in trying this blush though, Makeup Revolution is a very affordable brand. So these blushes retail for $5, so they're very affordable, and you do get a good amount of product. But unfortunately, this one is going on in my no pile. I did not like this blush at all. All right, getting down to the home stretch. The next product that I have is a highlighting palette. So when it comes to things that accent the face, like your highlighters, blushes, eyeshadows, even lipsticks, I really like palettes because I like seeing a bunch of different options in front of me at one time. So that's one of the reasons why I really like this next product. Again, this is from Makeup Revolution. This is the Ultra Pro Glow 2 highlighting palette. This is what it looks like open. So this palette, I feel like it has a whole lot of different options for me. This color right here, this yellow color, I haven't even swatched it. This is a color that I would never gravitate to for a highlighter. I usually don't like anything that's like really gold on my face, and that's exactly what this color is. The rest of these colors though, I do really like. This color here on the end, I definitely wouldn't be able to use that on my skin by itself because it would just be too light and too ashy. But I actually do get some use out of this color if I feel like, for instance, maybe one of these colors down here, if I feel like they're just too dark, I could actually mix in some of this lighter color to lighten it up a bit. I really like playing around with highlighters and layering them and mixing them together to see what I come up with. This color here is actually my favorite though, and I'll tell you why. Another one of my highlighters, this is the Fenty Beauty Match Stick, and this is in the color Cinnamon. When I got this, I was wearing it like every single day. The only thing I don't like about this highlighter is the applicator. I'm guessing because it's a stick, it's meant to be convenient, but unfortunately I feel like this kind of tugs at the skin. So normally when I would apply this, I would apply it on a sponge and dab the sponge on my face, or sometimes I'll just use my finger. This color here on the end, I feel like that color is basically a powder version of this Fenty Beauty Cinnamon Match Stick. But even the rest of the colors, like this chocolate brown color here, this one here, it is a little too dark for me to wear on its own, but again, it's a really nice color that I can mix in with maybe one of these pinks or even this light silver color up here. So these palettes, they come in 3 different color schemes. Again, this one is the Ultra Pro Glow 2, but there's also the original Pro Glow, and that's a more like warm tone palette. It has like more browns and coppers and like darker pinks to it. And then there's also a cool palette, and that one has like some blues and some lighter pinks and some more like pastel colors. So this palette retails for $15. I would highly recommend it, especially if you're very into highlighters like me. So this is definitely going on my yes list. And the final product that I have for you is a lipstick. This is the Butter London Plush Rush Satin Matte Lipstick, and this is in the color Thrilled. So this is what the packaging looks like. And this is what the color of this lipstick looks like. I'm actually wearing this lipstick now with a brown lip liner. These lipsticks, first of all, I want to show you the packaging. I don't know if you'll be able to tell on camera, but it's slightly magnetic, which I love because I just like it because it's magnetic. It's kind of fun to open and close, but also it doesn't open in your purse and the lipstick won't get everywhere. This is a Plush Rush lipstick, so it's meant to be like it's meant to give you like a plumping effect. So I didn't know that when I bought it. So the first time I put it on, I felt like the tingling sensation that a plumping lipstick will give you. And I'm like, why am I feeling this sensation? So I went online and looked at the lipstick, and of course it is supposed to be a plumper. And then I thought to myself, that's why it's called Plush Rush. I didn't put 2 and 2 together at first. But even though I wasn't looking for a plumping lipstick, I do really like this product. This is the color that's on my lips now. So for me, it's a very subtle, like everyday, like a pinky nude type lipstick. It's very creamy. This is a creamy matte lipstick. I think they call it a satin matte. Yeah, a satin matte lipstick. It's very creamy. It's very pigmented. And they have like a bunch of different colors. I went for this color because I felt like I could wear it with a bunch of different looks and it would be very versatile on me. This is how much product you get. So to me it looks like the standard amount of product for a lipstick. And this is not like a liquid matte lipstick, so when you eat or drink it's definitely going to come off, but you can reapply it and it'll look like you just put the lipstick on. And this one retails for $22. I would highly recommend it. So this one is definitely going on my yes list. So those are all the products that I have to share with you today. Let me know if you have any of these products and how you like them. If you didn't like them, just let me know what your experience was. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's video, and I really hope that you'll come back for the next one. Until then, take care. Bye.